Well, the weather has not improved. If you hear noises, it's likely because a thunderstorm is on the way. Or it could just be my washing machine, because that's going again. I do apologise for being very lazy over the last couple of weeks, and coming to you in my dressing gown has caught the attention, in fact, of Jojo, one of my friends, and yes, Jojo the Canary is named after him, so there we are. This past week, ooh, that was lightning. This past week has been the Olympics, and they go on all next week as well, and then they sort of come to an end. We do have the Paralympics happening after that. Do you know, earlier on this week there were considerable doubts about this country's performance, really. A lot of the very big superstars were first, basically, to compete, and more than a fair share of them crashed out. And we were sort of basically fifth on the leaderboard earlier on. We'd won a few, but our bulk was bronzes and silvers, and we weren't getting the golds. Now, China and the US were the main people, but of course you have to remember that they enter an awful lot more athletes. In fact, they have so many people entering in so many different things that statistically they're likely to get the upper hand. South Korea had come out of nowhere to gain third place, and then it was France, and then it was us. I'm pleased to report that in the latter part of this week, now that the track and field has started, we are beginning to do a little bit better. We're still getting, the sort of stigma. I don't know if it comes with being British or what, that we do very, very well, but we only ever come second. One of the rowing events that I watched today, we were ahead all the way, and then in the last 30 seconds, that was lightning again, in the last 30 seconds, the Danes appeared from nowhere and just sailed straight past us. It was very, very disheartening, and that does seem to happen quite a bit. And that was thunder. This next week is very exciting, and that's because two major things happen on the same week. On Wednesday, the date is August the 8th, and people who know me and know me well will know that that is the most celebrated day of my year. And it's 14 years, I believe, since what I call New Life Day, but it was basically, if you can imagine somebody's whole sort of paradigm changing on every level, absolutely every level. If there's just one day that you can say there was a before you and an after you, which is, in a positive light, that was the day. Spiritually, because I'd been brought up Christian, that was the day that I had basically gained my own faith independent of just being told what to believe by my parents. And it happened because I had spent the whole year in a great crisis of faith following the death of my grandfather. Now, although my grandfather when living wasn't a particular role model to me, I didn't really have role models, I did come to miss him greatly and think, I do wish that I had been more like him, etc, etc. And I think I was able to choose role models after I'd sort of come to terms with it, if you like, and gone back to my Christian faith. And I remember the day quite well. In the morning, I was speaking to his wife, well, his widow, in fact, and we were both sort of messing around in my vegetable patch, which I had started. It was the first year of that, and we were heading briskly towards harvest. So we were talking, and then in the afternoon, don't ask me why, we went to Lincoln Castle and watched a reconstruction of a battle reconstruction of some. I don't know whether it was a War of the Roses or something like that. It was something like that. That's what I actually did on the day. So there. So that's going to be very good. The day after that is Thursday, and Thursday the 9th of August is exactly 6 months after completion of the Jennyfield settlement, which led to Markenfield, basically. From that point on, I was basically legally the owner of the place you now see. Although I didn't move in until the 20th of that month, and the aviary and the housewarming wasn't in fact until the 3rd of the month after, this really was the date. The 9th of February was the date that I claimed ownership. In honour of that, I'm having a private meal, in fact, but with all my family. So my mother and my father, my sisters, and well, one sister and her husband, and one sister and her fiancé, and of course my nan. And I'm looking forward to hosting that. So this next couple of days is going to be quite busy with me getting prepared for that. The only other thing to mention is I don't know what I have done, whether I have pulled a muscle or what. It's not a chest pain that I've had before, and I've pulled lots of muscles in my chest before. I think it's an intercostal muscle, which is sort of like the muscles between the ribs, or sort of holding the ribs basically in place and moving up and down. When I breathe, and it's only when I take deep breaths, it hurts. It hurts more when I'm sitting down, so there's obviously some pull there. Now, it's too high to be kidneys, there's no wheeze, there's no cough, so it's not lungs, it's wrong side of the body to be the heart, so it's probably just a pulled muscle. I took the latter half of last week off from the gym, although I have to say that it happened on a night when I hadn't gone to the gym anyway. I'm obviously going to have this next week off because I shall be busy after work preparing. So if it's okay the week after, then fine. If not, that might actually be something that I even go to the doctors about, just because it seems to be a bit bizarre to me. That was lightning again. It's now started to rain as well, if you can possibly hear that on the window there. Oh, that was thunder. Yeah. So I am now going to shut down my aviary. I think the birds are going crazy. They love, in fact, the rain. Which reminds me, Joshua is now. I'm giving him a clean bill of health and let him back out. I've decided not to breed them. I thought about breeding them during the week, but I've decided not to. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy what you have to do to make budgies breed successfully, so I'm not really going to bother. Finch is in the autumn, I think. So I'm going to close my aviary down now and go to bed, I think. And that is my weekly blog for this week.